Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started, good luck. Which AWS Cost Explorer view is best for tracking costs across different AWS accounts? Service View, Tag View, Resource View, Linked Account View. The linked account view in AWS Cost Explorer shows costs for each linked AWS account, making it easy to track and compare expenses across your organization. Which AWS Cost Explorer view is most useful for comparing costs across different AWS services? Tag View, Region View, Service View, Account View. The Service View in AWS Cost Explorer breaks down your costs by individual AWS services, making it easy to compare expenses across different services like EC2, S3, or RDS. In AWS Cost Explorer, which view is most useful for tracking data transfer costs? Account View, Usage Type View, Service View, Region View. The Usage Type view in AWS Cost Explorer, focusing on data transfer types, helps you track and analyze your AWS data transfer costs across services and regions. In AWS Cost Explorer, which view helps you track costs for serverless applications? Region View, Account View, Service View, Lambda and others. Resource View. Using the Service View in AWS Cost Explorer and focusing on services like Lambda, API Gateway, and DynamoDB helps track costs for serverless applications. What does the net amortized cost in AWS Cost Explorer show? Cost excluding support fees. Total cost before discounts. Amortized cost after credits or refunds. Cost after all discounts. Net amortized cost in AWS Cost Explorer is your amortized cost after subtracting any credits, refunds, or other adjustments from your total charges. Which AWS Cost Explorer feature helps you understand cost trends over time? Cost Optimizer, Cost Trends, Cost Predictor, Cost Allocator. The Cost Trends feature in AWS Cost Explorer allows you to visualize and analyze how your AWS costs have changed over time, helping you identify patterns and make informed decisions. What does the RI Utilization report in AWS Cost Explorer show? How to purchase new reserved instances. How much you've saved with reserved instances. How effectively you're using your reserved instances. How many reserved instances you own. The RI Utilization report in AWS Cost Explorer displays how effectively you're using your purchased reserved instances, showing if they're being fully utilized or if you have unused capacity. In AWS Cost Explorer, which feature helps you understand the cost of AWS support plans? Account View, Service View, Usage Type Group, Cost Categories, Support. Creating a cost category in AWS Cost Explorer for support and applying it to support plan costs helps you understand and analyze these expenses. In AWS Cost Explorer, which view helps track costs for hybrid cloud setups. Service view, hybrid services. Region view. Account view. Tag view. Using the service view in AWS Cost Explorer and focusing on hybrid cloud services like Direct Connect, Storage Gateway, and Outposts helps track these specific costs. What does the month-to-date option in AWS Cost Explorer provide? Forecasted costs for next month. Last month's total costs. Current month's costs up to today. Average monthly costs. The month-to-date option in AWS Cost Explorer shows your current month's AWS costs up to today, helping you track spending in real time. In AWS Cost Explorer, which view is best for analyzing costs by resource? Account view. Region view. Resource view. Service view. The resource view in AWS Cost Explorer breaks down costs by individual AWS resources like specific EC2 instances or S3 buckets, offering granular cost insights. In AWS Cost Explorer, which report helps you plan for expiring commitments? RI coverage. RI utilization. RI recommendations. Reservation expiration. The reservation expiration report in AWS Cost Explorer alerts you to reserved instances that are about to expire, helping you plan for renewals or changes in commitment. In AWS Cost Explorer, which feature helps you track support and subscription costs? Usage type group, support. Cost categories. Tag view. Service view. Using the usage type group filter in AWS Cost Explorer and selecting Support helps you track and analyze your AWS support and subscription costs. In AWS Cost Explorer, which feature helps you understand costs by AWS region? Service view. Region view. Account view. Tag view. The region view in AWS Cost Explorer breaks down your costs by AWS region, helping you understand where your resources are deployed and the associated costs. Which AWS Cost Explorer report is most useful for understanding reserved instance savings? RI recommendations. RI expiration. RI coverage. RI utilization. The RI coverage report in AWS Cost Explorer shows how much of your instance usage is covered by reserved instances, indicating potential savings compared to on-demand pricing. What does the credit balance section in AWS Cost Explorer show? Available AWS credits for use. Total credits earned. Credit expiration dates. Credits used this month. The credit balance section in AWS Cost Explorer displays any AWS credits you have available that can be applied to reduce your future bills. In AWS Cost Explorer, what does the unblended cost metric represent? The cost after applying all discounts. The cost including only reserved instances. The actual cost incurred without any discounts. The cost excluding taxes. Unblended cost in AWS Cost Explorer shows the actual amount you've been charged for AWS services without applying any discounts like reserved instance or savings plans benefits. Which AWS Cost Explorer feature helps you understand costs during special events? Cost anomaly detection. Usage type groups. Custom date ranges. Cost forecast. Setting custom date ranges in AWS Cost Explorer around special events like sales or launches helps you understand their impact on AWS costs. What does the usage type group filter in AWS Cost Explorer help with? Filtering costs by AWS service. Grouping costs by region. Sorting costs by account. Breaking down costs by specific resource attributes. The usage type group filter in AWS Cost Explorer allows you to break down costs by specific attributes like instance type or storage class, offering deeper cost insights. In AWS Cost Explorer, what does usage quantity represent? The cost of a resource. The amount of a resource used. The type of resource used. The region of the resource. Usage quantity in AWS Cost Explorer shows the actual amount of a resource used, like GB for storage or hours for compute, helping you understand consumption patterns. Which AWS Cost Explorer feature helps manage costs for specific projects or teams? Cost allocation tags. Cost categories. Cost Explorer groups. Linked accounts. Cost categories in AWS Cost Explorer allow you to create custom groupings of costs, making it easy to manage and analyze expenses for specific projects or teams. In AWS Cost Explorer, what does amortized cost mean? The upfront RI cost spread over the term. The total cost of all resources. The cost after all discounts. The cost before any taxes. Amortized cost in AWS Cost Explorer spreads the upfront cost of reserved instances evenly across each month of the term, providing a more accurate monthly cost view. In AWS Cost Explorer, which feature helps you understand the cost impact of spot instances? Usage type group, spot. Resource view. Region view. Service view, EC2. Using the usage type group filter in AWS Cost Explorer and selecting Spot helps you understand the cost impact and savings from using EC2 Spot instances. Which AWS Cost Explorer feature helps analyze costs for multi-region applications? Resource View. Account View. Service View. Region View. The region view in AWS Cost Explorer breaks down costs by AWS region, essential for understanding expenses in multi-region application deployments. What does the public on-demand cost in AWS Cost Explorer represent? The cost of public IP addresses. The cost of marketplace products. The cost of data transfer out. The cost if all usage was on demand. Public on-demand cost in AWS Cost Explorer shows what you would have paid if all your usage was billed at public on-demand rates, highlighting potential savings. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.